Hey guys, it's Jeremy here on Metal Music Meltdown, back with another video. What I have today, guys, is the next installment of my top 10 albums of each year. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Definitely hit that subscribe button down below and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. And like I said, I started back in 1970. I've been working my way through the years chronologically. So if you do want to see my other list from 1970 up till 2014, definitely check those out. There's over 40 lists to check out. We're up to 2015, guys. We're closing in on the current date. Pretty solid year for 2015. Nothing too crazy. Nothing that really stood out as my number one that had to be number one. So, you know, the top two or three are pretty close together in terms of how much I like them, but I had to put them in some kind of order. So this kind of fell where they did. So let's jump right in, guys. At number 10, I went with Iron Maiden's Book of Souls. It's their 16th studio album. A pretty solid album. I really did enjoy it. I found it a little bit bloated a little bit. It was a double album. They could have edited it down to be a little bit shorter in a single album, but overall pretty good tunes on it. Good playing. Good production as well. And at number 9, I went with I Worship Chaos by Children of Bodom. This is their 9th studio album from Melodic Death Metalers from Finland. Always was a huge Children of Bodom fan. A lot of people don't like them or kind of give them shit after a while, but it's a band I always really loved. I got into them in the early to mid 2000s, and I followed their career all the way through. Love all their stuff. Really cool artwork on all their stuff as well. Alexi was a great frontman, great guitarist, great vocalist. Always loved their sound and the intensity, and just a really good band. At number 8, I went with Satan with their album Atom by Atom. This is one of their second album after they came back. They had a couple albums in the 80s, and then they didn't have anything until 2013. But there are a string of albums from, there's been 4 of them now in total, all killer material. They bring back that old school new wave of British heavy metal sound, and they do it perfectly. Really good live band as well. Really killer stuff. Number 7, I went with the mighty Motorhead with their final and 22nd studio album entitled Bad Magic. A really good note to go out on, really killer album, really strong effort from these guys, especially at their age, and Lemmy having the health problems he was at the end there. Just a really good album. Motorhead didn't release a bad album in my opinion. I love their whole discography, and this was a killer album. At number 6, I went with Baroness and their Purple album. Their albums are all color-coded, really cool artwork. The lead singer does all the artwork for the band as well. They're like a progressive, sludgy, hard rock kind of band. Always love their sound. Love all their albums. They're pretty cool band. Very unique as well. If you're not familiar with them, definitely check them out. And number 5, I went with Cataclysm from Montreal, Canada. The album of Ghost of Gods. I think this might have been my introduction to the band. I didn't get into these guys until much later, and then I went back and bought up a bunch of their albums. There's still a few I have to pick up, but really good melodic death metal band. Originally they're more kind of straight death metal, but they kind of go more melodic lately, which is the albums I prefer more. And this was a really killer album. Fell in love with the band right away. Saw them live a couple times. Really killer band live as well. At number 4, I went with Under the Red Cloud by Amorphis. Easily one of my favorite bands of the new generation. They have been around for a while now, but this release was really killer. This is one of the first albums I picked up from them. Great vocals on this band, great musicianship, just great songwriting. Really cool melodic band. If you're not familiar with them, definitely check them out. At number 3, I went with Luminiferous with from Higher and Fire. Really good band, stoner, sludge, a little bit of thrash elements in there as well. Matt Pike on vocals is like the new generation, or like the continuation of Lemmy. He's got that kind of attitude to him. Always loved his singing and his riffs. Their latest album was fucking killer, but I love all their material, and this was a really good album as well. At number 2, I went with kind of a more underground, lesser known band from Salt Lake City called Visigoth. Their debut album, The Revenant King, just a really good throwback to traditional heavy metal. These guys do it really well. Easily one of my favorite bands from the post 2000s and even 2010s. If you're not familiar with these guys, check them out. They have a really epic, fist in the air, heavy metal vibe to them. The songs are long on the album, but they don't lose interest at all. They really keep your attention, and it's just a killer album. Really cool artwork as well. And at number 1, I went with Sylosis, Dormant Heart. It's their 4th studio album. I think this was my introduction to Sylosis, and I instantly fell in love with the band right away. I think I bought this album. It was cheap on Boxing Day sale one time, or Black Friday, I think it was. And I'm like, wow, this band kicks ass. And I bought up most of their other albums. I need the last couple still for my collection. But killer band, one of my favorite bands. It's so thrashy, progressive elements, some melodic death metal elements in there. Really good vocals, great guitar riffs. They just have it all, and always loved all their material. So that's it for me, guys, for 2015. Let me know down below what your picks for 2015 would be. There's a few albums that didn't quite make my list, like Repentless from Slayer was another one that barely did make the list. There was a couple others as well. But let me know down below, guys, what your albums would be. And thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for 2016 coming up in the next couple weeks. And keep it metal.